6 will lose game number 2 as well. Virtus Pro securing, I think they were already kind of third place in their group, either solidifying that or maybe even jumping up to second. Either way, Virtus Pro probably very happy with the way this group stage is going. MVP Hot 6, though, I mean, they were a qualifier team, kind of to be expected for them to be outplayed by some of the more established teams. Put up a decent fight, I would say, in both of these games kind of early on, but it just seemed clear that the VP was on a whole nother level through and through.
Yeah, and so well played by Virtus Pro. Fortunately, MVP Hot 6 unable to get away with any of those wins, but is this time we send it back now to...
Yep, maybe the panel will give MVP Hot 6 some tips.
Wish I had a meme here for Cinderin.
The excitement.
All right. Well, Blitz. Sorry, it's okay if you didn't have a meme for Cinderin, because Cinderin is gone. We have replaced him with, not sure if an upgrade or a downgrade, but Ben is back to join us here with his very own friend. How's your buddy doing?
He's cool, cuddly pillows, man. Tidehunter. He's so cute.
He is pretty
really
cute.
He doesn't have any lights. That's his only... Actually, I want to say that's an upside. Because that means that if you lie on it, you don't have batteries in your ears.
Yeah, that's true. But lights are really cool. You can't see it here, but lights are really cool. But anyway, let's talk about the game now that we're out of the game and the game is over. VP winning 2-0 against MVP Hot 6. Hot 6, when we were talking about the draft, Winter, I mean, we said, all right, the draft definitely looks better. Looks like they're improving. But again, the result is the same.
The execution wasn't as good this time around. I think the clockwork died particularly too many times in the early game. He gave up many easy kills towards the Lina. I felt could have been avoided. He played just a little too greedy, and you try to farm too much, it happens, and you get punished. So the momentum of the game a lot relies on the clockwork hitting hook shots, getting stuff down, so the bounty hunter can actually get a lane, get his level 6 early and use the track in conjunction with the hook shot. But that didn't happen, and the timing wasn't good enough, so they got rolled over by VP's aggression early on.
Yeah, and it's funny that we talk about this now, because earlier we were saying, well, for Hot 6, actually, uniquely, it wasn't really the execution. It always seems to be their draft, and they're like, all right, draft has improved, execution suddenly drops down a little bit, not able to pull it through. We'll review probably one of the best fights we've had that game between VP and MVP Hot 6. And again, I mean, VP pulling over 2-0.
The Sonic Wave here is really good position. I just want to point it out. I think that is going to happen soon. Or just happened, actually.
It just went through.
Yeah. I mean, I really thought they had a good shot. Like we said, the draft was on point. And VP, I mean, they're known as a team that knows how to fight, right? The CIS team, and they just got out fought. And at some point, then Ember is trying to be in a lot of these fights, which is really good because they need him, but he doesn't get any time to farm, and then he's just behind. And they keep losing too many objectives after fights, and it doesn't end well.
Yeah, Ben, coming in, we said, well, if either MVP team is going to do well, it's probably going to be Hot 6, but right now, Phoenix definitely seems to be a little bit more on the up and up. Hot 6 not doing so hot. What's your take on that?
Yeah, Hot 6 did really well versus EG yesterday, and I definitely thought they'd be able to take at least one game off of this. But I don't know. I think the middle of the pack in Group B is going to be pretty tight. I'm not sure who's going to come out on top. There's no clear dichotomy like in Group 1. Yeah,
of course, Group A, when we take a look at the standings later on, we'll see that Group A, obviously, we've had that update in Game 2. The two top teams now, they're set for the top 4. And with the most recent results, it does look like IG not going to have a chance to move on to the top 4 because they just lost 0-2 to MVP Phoenix. So that's a bit of a surprise, too. A bit of an upset.
I had them in my top 6.
Ouch.
Yeah, so not looking too good for IG right now as we take a look at the standings. But again, LGD and Secret, of course, locking in their top 4 positions. Now, Cloud9 and Complexity sitting fairly comfortably, but especially for Complexity, you can't rest just yet. Anything can happen. I mean, even Fnatic technically could come back up and try to fight for that number 4 spot. But Ben, as you mentioned, Group B, looking a lot closer. I mean, Shiver, do you think, just from the way the matches have played out, maybe we'll still see some clear winners here by the end of the day, or do you think it's going to go down to the wire tomorrow?
It really depends on the difference between 2-0s and having a 1-1 is so gigantic. So right now, Empire is still facing Newbie, and they're both right now looking like they're on the bottom half, the bottom 4 of the Group B. But I mean, if Newbie can pull out a 2-0 here, I mean, that's so many
Yeah.
points that you can get extra, and they actually have a very good shot at still getting to that top 4.
Yeah.
Well, if Empire makes it 1-1, then both teams are like, anything can still happen. Because still so many games have to be played for this group.
Yes.
That at the end of the day, I mean, we'll have a clearer shot, a clearer view of what's going to happen, but at the same time, 2-0s, the difference, it's really big. So it depends on if we see some of those.
Yeah, and we will start to move into watching more of
Yeah.
these Group B matches today, and of course, wrapping it all up tomorrow. But already now at day 3, we're halfway done with day 3 also. Not much time left for these teams. Winter, now that things are panning out, are you like, okay, this does make a lot of sense, or are there still some teams that are puzzling you a little bit?
I think most of it are coming into play already. Like they are at the positions where we expect they are going to be after the first 2 days, and mostly I think left now is whether newbie can actually get a 2-0 versus Empire. They are still playing right now. If they actually get a 2-0 versus Empire, it would put them at 6 points.
Right, yes.
So that would be a very good position for newbie to get into the top 4.
Yeah, and they are still playing right now, so if you guys want to catch the end of that, we're not sure exactly for how much longer, but you can go over to Stream 3 and you'll be able to catch how that wraps up. Newbie was looking pretty strong in that game too, but Empire is starting to come back a little bit, so we'll see if Newbie can close it out. For us here, now it's been 3 days with TI. We're waiting to move on to our next matches. Of course, here will be EG versus eHome, so don't go anywhere if you want to catch that or just catch EG games in general. You're definitely going to want to stay around. But overall, I mean, how have the players been? We see them, walking around here and there. Of course, by the end of the day, even teams who haven't had a good day, they'll just try to wind down. You'll get to have a chat with them. I mean, Shiver, for one, have you noticed if any players particularly seem a little bit more upbeat, just really glad that they're here for TI?
Well, a lot of the players are so focused that on the tournament itself,
Yeah.
and I'm mostly watching the games in a viewing area. Players come in, eat food, go back to their practice rooms, either study the teams or practice rooms. Like they're so focused. Now, I do have to say that I think a lot of the teams were expecting certain results and didn't get them, so
Right.
getting 1-1s against team that they feel like they shouldn't have, and I feel like that's kind of having an impact on their moods. But they're so focused, and sometimes I feel like slightly stressed as well. At the same time, you sometimes see players just like Virtus Pro just now, just they won, it's fine. They were expecting that, and if they get their expected result, and obviously everybody has really high expectations of themselves. Then they're fine. Then they're relaxed, and they can do what they want. They can actually make a chat, and they're okay with that. But mostly, I feel like the players, they're just super focused.
Yeah, it's funny to think about it that way because, of course, we're here. It's the first week. We've had 3 days, but at the same time, it's like it's not the main event yet, right? We haven't started the bracket stage, and no one gets knocked out yet. So to some extent, the pressure you'd think should be less, but then the difference between being the bottom 4 versus the top 12, and then from there the top 8, the top 4 is absolutely monumental.
As an example, for example, LGD Secret right now, they're in the top 2. If they win one best of 3 at the main event,
Right.
they already guaranteed over $1 million prize pool. So the pressure, it's crazy,
That is
right?
crazy.
That is just one best of 3. So the pressure, is on. And I think for a lot of teams to get in that top 4, even though nobody's getting eliminated in the group stages, which you think, you have a bit of more leeway. I don't think that's the case.
There's no relaxing at all
No.
in the group stage. All the teams are in the zone, and the difference in between first and second can be, even more important than the difference in between fourth and fifth, or even the 5th/6th, because every seed means something. The difference in between first and second is being able to pick your opponent in the first round, and one step closer to securing that first best of 3 in the upper bracket. And I don't think any of these teams are going to go easy at all until the very, very end of day 4, especially with how close each of these groups are.
Yeah, but even at that point, right, sure, for us, like we have a couple of days off, we can review some of the games and move on and prep and relax a little bit before entering the main stage. But for them, again, no one gets knocked out. So you're still going to have to play games. And for some, it's a best of 1 that determines whether you have another shot going onward in TR or not. So it doesn't sound like we'll have any players really being jolly, like really relaxed and whatnot until everything wraps up. And then you can reflect, even if you're not the champion, reflect and either be content with your result or say, all right, that's the next goal for next year, and assess that from there. Winter, what about you? I mean, have you noticed anything from the players, or just overall, how are you enjoying TI so far? Because you've been here for what, a weekish now? Like coming in to
a week.
prepare and-
I'm obviously enjoying it. It's really fun. Everyone wants to.
You don't have to lie to me when you're on games. I'm really forced. If you don't want to sit across from me, that's fine.
I mean, you can tell I'm having fun. So based on it's overall, everyone wants to come to TI if you're part of Dota. But for the players, I think you were talking about when the players will be relaxing. I think there's only two things if the player will relax. Either you get eliminated, then you relax after that, or you win the championship, then you can relax after. So in between, anywhere in between, I don't think you'll be relaxing as a player.
Do you think they should try to relax more? Because I mean,
That's
it's a
actually a
2-week
brilliant
event,
point.
right? To go full focus for 2 weeks, that's insane. That's almost inhuman.
Yeah, I think depending on like certain players would feel that it's a matter of different type of views between teams. Some teams feel that it's much better to actually get the most out of the time you have here to prepare. Some teams feel, oh, maybe it's better that we actually spend some time with friends or spend some time with like going to the movies, just take your mind off the games. And some teams just like, I know some teams they are actually, we should use every bit of time to just watch. We don't want to be like, oh damn, we actually missed that.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
went for a break. You know, we could have actually used that time to, you don't want to regret. So.
You know, you bring up a game. I was just thinking about this because I would actually do it differently in each situation, I think. But if you're studying for standardized tests, especially in the States, for instance, like the SAT or ACT, the tip that most people give when they're teaching students or mentoring students, they say the night before you should go watch a movie or like watch a TV show and just relax. Don't study at all the night before and go to sleep early. Do you think that applies? Because like you said,
Can imagine that, people are going to be distracted by a screen. I think we all are sometimes. So at the same time, if you're having dinner, then I think maybe new ideas can come, and maybe it's a good way to brainstorm rather than in your practice room, just in different scenario, different setting.
I get ideas when I'm alone in the room, staring at the PC. I'm like, oh, ding.
yeah, like thinking about yeah. I mean that you do get distracted very easily, and because
Yeah.
it's a familiar setting, so you just go into your habit and you think about things. But yeah, just something interesting to think about. Maybe something we'll notice more and more as we see the scene continue to develop. I mean, it's grown so much already. You were just mentioning, and after that first best of 3, that's going to be a difference of whether you get $1 million or not. But 4 years ago, we were all blown away at that prize pool for the winner, the TI champs
Yeah.
at TI1. So we've come a long way.